I hate my fucking country because of people like you, okay? I actually fucking hate you, okay? I really do. From the bottom of my fucking heart, I think that people like you are destroyed. Like, when I have to argue with commies and socialists that tell me shit like liberals get the bullet first, fucking liberalism is dead, it's because of people like you that I can't really disagree with them. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Oh shit, sorry. I just had to pause your stream. I was watching you for a sec.
Yeah, no problem. All right. You commented on my Instagram because you were upset because I think all Republicans are stupid, and you say I'm just talking to the wrong Republicans.
Yeah, man. Well, no, I don't think you're talking to the wrong Republicans. I think you do this thing where it's like you criticize people for like their viewpoints and stuff, which is valid criticism for the most part. But then you apply it to like this whole group of people. So like I just don't like it when you say like all types of people are.
That's a major YIKES from you, dog.
Label an entire group or like you know, like.
So I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with
apply it to an entire. You know,
I don't think there's anything wrong with labeling a group if that's that group's stated ideology. So, for instance, I think it's fair for me to criticize Republicans on healthcare and generalize that to the party when their entire platform is typically like anti-ACA and whatnot. I think it's fair for me to levy that criticism at Republicans, or say when it comes to climate change or stuff like that. I think that's fair to do so.
Yeah, but even within the Republican Party, there's so many different, like, not everyone agrees on the same thing. Like, yeah, they may have like a general consensus of like what they would like to see happen within healthcare, but when you get down to like the specific details of the issue, there's still a wide range of like, you know, a variety of different ideas and stuff of how that they want to implement, you know, what they want to implement and all that. So
no. We're equivocating.
I mean,
no, we're equivocating really hard here. The Republicans presented a unified front against the ACA, and that's why they defunded it. There wasn't a lot of debate.
Yeah, but that's only the ACA is just one. It's like it's one part of the entire healthcare debate that's happening. It's not just like it. I mean, it's not. There's more to it than just that.
Okay,
so
what more of the Republicans proposed to it? What was their replacement for the ACA?
Well, that's the thing. There was a bunch of different suggestions. Like,
yeah, but what legislation? I don't care about what whoever random person on Facebook. I want to know, what did Republicans replace the ACA with?
Yeah, like almost pretty much every Republican in Congress was like wanting to do a different thing, and I'm pretty sure like the conservative group that they have in there, they were proposing a certain thing, and the you know, there was a bunch of different people wanting to do a bunch of different stuff, and that's part of the reason why it was so hard to get rid of it, is because, you know, Democrats had a good point, and they were like, what are you going to do after it's gone? And a lot of people are just kind of like, oh, well, we're not sure yet, we're going to figure it out.
Okay, so let's say that you're a person who has diabetes and now you're losing your health insurance because the ACA is being defunded. Do you think that that person cares that there's a lot of different ideas in the Republican Party about what to do with healthcare if none of it got to the legislative stage?
I mean, in that specific example, I don't know.
What else matters besides that, though?
I mean, everything else, I don't know. I mean,
if it's not policy at the end of the day, let's say that an entire party agreed on one thing, but they couldn't pass any legislation for it. What does it matter?
First of all, I don't think that an entire party across the United States is going to agree on one thing, one specific thing.
Okay, well, careful. We were equivocating again, because the Democrats agreed enough to pass the ACA. So even though they didn't agree on the specifics of everything, they were still able to get something passed. So
right, but you see what I'm saying is there's still Democrats out there who didn't fully agree with it. So if I were to come out and say something like divisive, like, oh, you know, all fucking Democrats are retarded because they passed the ACA, that would be sort of not true necessarily, because yeah, as a group they did this thing, but there's still people within that group who didn't necessarily fully support it, or there might be specifics within that issue that they may have had a problem with. So when you say stuff like, you know, all Republicans talk this way, that's just simply not true. There's people out there who are more intelligent about certain things that you could talk to. I mean, you reference like Sargon, it's fine, like you could talk to him, but he's not exactly like, you know, a spokesperson for every single Republican out there, or conservative.
Okay, when I look at Republican spokespeople, I see Rush Limbaugh, I see Sean Hannity, I see, you know, everybody else at Fox News, you know, people like Bill O'Reilly, I guess people like Donald Trump.
everybody else at Fox News is conservative? I don't know, man.
Fox News is like the largest conservative cable news station. Yeah, Rush Limbaugh is the largest talk show radio host.
I would say they're Republican. I wouldn't necessarily say they're conservative.
Okay, we're equivocating again. So I guess maybe Republican. I mean, like, who do I look to for? Do you see like the problem is that like I can't pin down like any belief. We're going to equivocate everything out of existence. When I say equivocate, what I mean is we kind of like mince words so much that like nothing really means anything or matters anything at all. Like, well, you can't really say Republicans believe this thing because I can find a couple people, even if I can find like central messaging from the top down that is consistent from Trump to Fox News to all of talk radio, I can't criticize Republicans on these points.
Well, but that's the thing about politics in general. It's not just one thing. It's not just like it's not like, okay, we're all gonna, like agree on this one thing. That's the beauty of it, is that everyone has their own different little
That's not, well, no, that's not the beauty of it, okay? Republicans came together and they agreed on one thing, which was defunding the ACA, and they didn't propose a solution for healthcare. So what am I supposed to think about that party of people?
Okay, not every Republican did though, right?
So so if we were to go to the Senate voting record on getting rid of the individual mandate, you don't think that the majority of Republicans in the Senate voted to...
majority, yes. Yeah, but not like...
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm pretty sure every single Republican in this... I'm sorry, the majority of the Senate, every single Republican senator voted to repeal the mandate.
I didn't know that was true. I mean, if that's true, then yeah, I guess what you said was correct. I was pretty sure that there was a few that didn't because of that exact reason, because there was nothing...
I'm pretty sure it was like every single one except for like McCain. Like...
Well, I mean, if you want to look it up, you can. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, I thought that there was more that were voting not to get rid of, or not voting to get rid of it because there was nothing proposed afterwards. I thought in my head, I thought that there were more, but if you're saying there's only one, then
I'm pretty sure it was just McCain. I don't understand this point that like I can't criticize a platform of a party when they in general.
Can't do it. It's just that it's divisive and it doesn't help anything. All you're doing is just like drawing these lines and being like us versus them, and it's just not helpful to anything. And you're not really like, I mean, like what's the point of it? I don't get it. Like you're just kind of stirring the pot, I guess. Like, I mean, it's fine. I'm not saying you can't do it. It just annoys me, and that's why I commented the way I did, because I was just like annoyed by it.
I think the frustrating thing is that there are a lot of people right now in the United States that are individually impacted by policy decisions that Republicans are making, right? That are incredibly detrimental to their lives. So for instance, there will be millions of people that will lose their health insurance because the ACA is being defunded. And to those people, it's very frustrating that if they try to attack the Republican Party on their stance on healthcare, that people like you can hand wave those complaints by saying, well, hold on, they don't all agree on this one thing. The important thing isn't that they don't agree on a specific implementation of healthcare. They don't agree on a specific solution to healthcare. It's that they all came together and they agreed to get rid of what currently existed. And the fact that the party has no consensus on what to do with healthcare now is almost as bad as them having a consensus to destroy it, because both of them are effectively going to be the same thing. Sure,
I see what you're saying. And I'm not trying to use this as a way to ride the fence on every single issue. I'm not saying that whenever something controversial is said about a subject that you can just say, oh, well, I'm not trying to use it that way. I'm trying to say that if you're going to criticize something, criticize the actual, like the policy or whatever it is you're talking about. Don't criticize like the whole other half of the country that may disagree with you, because these aren't just like one-sided things. These aren't just like, oh, clearly this is the answer and clearly this is right and clearly this is wrong. There's nuance and detail that go into every single thing you're talking about. Even this healthcare thing, although the examples you're giving are really sad and like, I feel bad for those people that's happening to, there's more to it than just that. It's not just those people only in the country. And I agree that we should have sympathy for those kind of cases and stuff. But what I'm trying to say is when you use these blanket statements of like all Republican, like it's not helpful. I feel like all you're doing is just dividing people and making them seem like it's us versus them. And then it becomes more tribal. And then people just get into these entrenched ideas where it's like, oh, well, this is a Republican idea, so I believe with that, and this is a Democrat, so I believe that. And they don't actually think about the issues. All they do is just say, oh, it's a D or R, and that's all I'm going to decide on the issues on.
Okay, so I understand what you're saying, but the problem is that like maybe if I was like a persuasive person and my goal was to persuade more people over my side, I would care. But that's not really what I'm concerned with. I'm concerned at just looking at the facts of the issue. And the fact of the matter is that the Republicans right now are just flatly wrong on a lot of the issues. There aren't two sides to things like climate change. The side that says it's a hoax perpetuated by China to make our manufacturing non-competitive, that's not a real side to the debate. And the idea that I would humor that side as something that needs to be debated is woefully uninformed. There is not two sides to something like...
dangerous, though. That's dangerous, right? Because no matter how stupid something like someone saying, oh, China made up climate change, even though I agree, it's more than likely not correct, you still have to engage those people and explain to them why what they're saying is so stupid.
How do I engage people that don't even care to engage with factual arguments, though?
Then yes, you have to at some point say, okay, like I have to walk away with this. But just to say, like, I mean, there's a lot of people out there. Yeah, but I've tried to engage
these people, in fact, and we've tried. How many people right now, you might even be one of them, believe, say, for instance, that Hillary sold 1/5 of our uranium reserves? If you already believe that, there is no engaging in fact with this person. It's easier to call them stupid and move on to people that can actually be persuaded.
Easier for who, though? Easier for you?
Yeah, easier for me. Easier for everybody. Why would I waste time debating somebody that gets 95% of their news from Alex Jones and the Daily Wire?
I'm not necessarily saying you have to engage in like a full-on debate with them, but I just think it's dangerous to dismiss someone's ideas just because you think they're stupid.
I mean, you think it's dangerous to dismiss their ideas. I think it's dangerous these people are allowed to vote and have children. I mean, like, I don't understand what you mean by it's dangerous to dismiss.
It's not up to you, though. That's the thing.
I mean, it could be in some world, but
yeah, that's what I mean. That's the dangerous world I'm talking about. If it came down to, like, I think it's dangerous for this person to have kids and stuff because they're not smart, like they're not as smart or whatever, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you could make it into a very like dangerous situation real quick if you just start dismissing people as,
but this is always the problem. This is the problem with the fence-sitting centrists, is you always say like, it could be dangerous. It could be dangerous. So now,
it has been.
No. That's not the real danger. The real danger isn't that you hurt too many conservatives' feelings by calling them stupid.
No.
The real danger is that right now, it's possible that we're already on an irreversible path to extinction due to climate change. Right now, we are already on a path where millions of people will lose their...
that for years, though? I mean...
Okay, so you're one of the people that don't believe in it. I mean, maybe you're young enough that maybe you'll get to suffer through your lifetime in it. I mean, you are. It's funny. I mean, based on your statements, you already are. It's okay. But like, what I'm saying is that I don't care to argue because you would be one of the people that I would just call stupid and write off. I understand, but I'm saying that the problem is I don't.
This is what I'm talking about. You take someone that something says that might be a nuanced view, like I just said.
There is not a nuanced view on this, though. That's the problem. Wait, do you think there's a nuanced view on whether or not climate change is happening and is being caused by humans?
No, I agree that it is, and that it is happening by humans.
Then what's the nuanced view?
Because, like I just said, haven't they been saying that for years that climate change is irreversible and there's no way that we can get around it, and it's gonna eventually just swallow up the whole world?
No, I think they said that if we stay on the current path, it will be.
No, from everything that I've heard and that I've read, I've seen things that politicians have said from interviews way back when, and other scientists and stuff like that say in a couple years, Puerto Rico is going to be underwater, and
I mean, like, there have been some absurd hyperbolic claims
by 2050.
Sure, and sometimes the medical surgeon general or whatever like recommends certain vaccines and they don't work out as well. So do we just abandon every single flu shot?
And that's what I'm saying is that's no, I'm not saying we should, and that's where some of the nuance comes. Is like, yeah, well,
what is the nuance?
Maybe they said something that wasn't necessarily fully true, but that doesn't mean that everything they said was wrong. Yeah, climate change does still exist, but that doesn't mean, maybe they weren't a little bit harsh when they were making these estimates a few years ago.
Okay, but the problem is half the Republican Party doesn't even believe it exists right now. That's a huge problem. How do you even communicate with a person like that? How do you convince somebody that we need to convince it, that we need to invest in renewable?
Not by saying, oh, you said one thing that might have a somewhat questioning view of this, therefore I'm just going to totally dismiss you as retarded and not have a conversation with you.
Why would I waste my time talking to somebody that thinks that climate change is like a total hoax? How am I ever convincing this person?
You just thought that I was one of those people, and I just told you that I'm not one of those people because of the conversation we're having. I hope you understand now that I am not one of those people because I outwardly admitted that to you.
Okay, sure, yeah, but most Republicans won't.
I know most won't, but some will, and those are the people you should try to talk to, I think. I don't think it helps you to try to just bang your head against the wall and say, oh, well, obviously, this person is like, for whatever reason, religion or whatever. There's no way you're going to convince them of certain things. So that's fine. Like, I understand that. There's some people out there who are like that.
Okay, but if you're going to identify with a party,
right, and they say, what? why the fuck should I even bother trying to have a conversation with this guy? He's going to dismiss me if I even try to, say one thing that might contradict what he thinks.
I mean, if you say something really fucking retarded and you can't defend it, then of course I'm going to call that person an idiot.
Right, as you should, but you shouldn't just completely, dismiss everything they have to say. Maybe they have something that's,
I mean, like, if you willingly put yourself in a group with other Republicans and then you vote for people like Trump or other Republicans, so I know that you're supporting on a policy position, things related to tariffs in our economy, things related to immigration policy, things related to healthcare, things related to science and environmental regulations. I mean, like, what am I supposed to think of this person? Like,
I think you should think of them as a person and say that, even though they may have voted for this person, like, just because you vote for Trump doesn't necessarily mean you agree with every single thing he does. And maybe that person probably just thinks, hey, like, it's better than the alternative, or I agree with enough of what this person is saying that I think it's worth voting for them.
What is what is the enough of what the person says that they're worth voting for a Republican? Are you like a Trump supporter?
I mean, yeah, I voted for. I didn't vote for him in the primary, but I voted for him.
So what did you vote for Trump for?
In the
what did you think he was worth voting for? For what reasons?
I mean, I just thought he was better than the alternative. I saw that.
In what ways? With respect to what?
Well, I mean, honestly, if you're asking me personally, I feel like I myself am more of a fiscally conservative person. And
so what do you have to do with the record rates that he's raising the budget and everything? Or increasing the deficit and whatnot?
I don't think it's great. But I think what's happening with our economy is great. I think the record, all-time low unemployment is great. I think.
Okay, hold on. You just said that you were fiscally conservative, and the way that Trump stimulated the economy was with deficit spending. These two positions are completely contradictory. You realize that, right? If a Democrat did this, you would criticize them for Keynesian economics, that they were printing money. Okay, so Trump just did that. So why do you think that's great?
Right? I don't think that's great. I just said that I don't agree with what he did, the way he did it.
Sure, but you just said that you're happy that the economy is doing well because of essentially stimulus spending. We're increasing the deficit by reducing the amount of tax receipts we're getting.
But that's the thing is that's not the only sole reason that our economy is doing well. There's other things that come into play, like tariffs. Wait,
you think tariffs are improving the economy?
No, but I'm saying that they play a role in
improving the economy.
No, not necessarily improving
because every single economist, including his last lead economic advisor that resigned, thought that tariffs were fucking horrible for the economy.
I thought he got fired.
No, he resigned. He quit immediately because no sane economist is going to recommend tariffs to improve an economy.
Sure. I mean, like I said, I don't think everything he's doing is great.
Okay. I love you, okay?
You are
making the most deflationary statements in the world that make it impossible for me. Like, well, I think that everything he's doing, some things he's doing, everything he's doing, a lot of things he's doing. Okay, so backing up, what is one positive reason why you voted for Trump? What is one policy position that you thought he would have taken? Not like, well, I thought he was generally better than Hillary. Like, what's one thing that you wanted from him that you thought you couldn't get from the Democrat?
A better economy.
How?
What he's done so far.
And which is, one is deficit spending, which you said you don't like. The other is?
Record high stock market.
The stock market has been hitting record highs since 2013, so that's not Trump. Low unemployment is, a lot of people are spending money and shit, but that's deficit spending. These are Democrat policies. What else?
I don't agree with either of what you were just saying.
Wait, you don't agree? Hold on.
Record high.
So if
record high stock market since 2013, I don't think that's a thing at all.
Okay, cool. So let's Google S&P 500. Okay, sure. Go to 2013, and if those aren't all-time highs, can you please explain to me what they are? Or we can Google Dow Jones. Okay. And then stock market or whatever, and you can go to 2013. If those aren't all-time highs,
like it took a significant drop around November, March, July 2016 for the S&P 500. It looks like from 2016 it was hitting a high, or 2015, early 2015 it was high, and then it looks like it drops for about 6 months to a year before it starts going back up again.
Okay, do you know what all-time high means?
Yes.
Okay, an all-time high means that the stock price has reached the highest that it's ever been before. Okay?
Sure.
So if we go to 2013 until about 2015, we are constantly posting all-time highs.
Okay, yes. And then it drops,
okay.
Right?
Then we have a little hiccup, yeah?
A little hiccup. What happened during that hiccup?
I'm not sure what happened around 2016.
Okay, me neither. But that's what I mean. Like, I'm telling you that right now our economy is doing great. You would agree with that, right?
Okay, when did Trump take office?
I'm just asking. Do you agree that our economy is doing great right now?
Wait. What happened? When did Trump take office?
I'm just asking you a question. Will you not just?
Yeah, the economy is doing fine. Yeah, but to attribute it to Trump when he hasn't done anything is just.
Sometimes
weird.
Maybe that's the thing. Okay, so you're arguing that he's doing a bunch of bad things, and now you're saying he's doing nothing.
I'm saying the few things he's done is bad, but to attribute, and also from 2016 to 2017, we're also posting all-time highs before Trump ever takes office.
Okay, but I mean, that's fine. So it's continued to do great. I don't know how that disproves what I said, that our economy is doing okay.
Because you make it sound like the economy was in the shitter, and then Trump was elected, and now all of a sudden the economy is doing fine.
I didn't make it sound like that. You projected that on me. All I said was our economy is doing well. You said, what did you hope would come from?
I asked you what could come from a Republican that can't come from a Democrat. When you answer, well, the economy is doing really well, the implication is that the Democrat.
Than it would be.
Okay, so then I'm asking you for a Trump policy that is improving the economy. And
I mean, everything he's doing right now, tariffs.
Okay, you did deflationary everything. Nobody says that tariffs are helping the economy. What?
Well, maybe no one you listen to. I've heard a couple of people say that.
I can find articles in The Economist. I can find the Wall Street Journal, his last national economic advisor, literally every large economist, even people that would normally support conservative things, like people like Borjas that talk about immigration. None of these people I've ever seen in my entire life support tariffs. Like even people that are traditionally conservative, the Cato Institute, none of these people are supporting tariffs. Who are these people that are coming out in favor of tariffs?
I mean, if you want, I could go back and look up some sources and stuff. That's just what I've heard.
Sure. I mean, like, even people like Ben Shapiro, I don't think are going to be coming out in favor of tariffs. Like maybe Alex Jones is. I don't know if you get your news from those types of people, or Stivan Molyneux might support tariffs. Maybe, or Sargon might.
No. Sargon Molyneux. No, dude. I'm just telling you. I mean, I don't. If you want to get into very specific, like, policy stuff like that, I'm probably not the guy to do it with. But I mean. Again, it's not about the specific policies, man. It's just about the way that you engage people and the way that you form these like cluster, like group dynamics where it's like, Democrats versus Republicans. I mean, it's just like not helpful, man. That's
No. What's not helpful, okay, is that when I have discussions on these things, what I want to have is a discussion that's based in reality. And what I've stated repeatedly is that Republicans can only argue with their feelings. I can't get any type of fact-based argument.
Oh my goodness, are you serious?
Yes. So for instance, here is a poll.
Ever heard?
I know you're going to say about the Democrats. Sure, but you're doing it right now and you're not cognizant of it. So here's a link to you on a poll for what economists think about the U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminum. Okay. So you've given me your feelings repeatedly. Well, I feel like I've heard this. I feel like this is doing it. I feel like, but you can't back that up with anything empirical whatsoever.
That was the one thing that I've said I feel on so far.
Cool.
And yes,
so then let's abandon that point and move to the next then. Let's abandon that and move to the next. So what is the next thing you think Trump has done well?
Other than our economy?
No. We haven't established the economy. You told me tariffs. I don't think anybody thinks. Yeah, so sure, on the economy, what has Trump done well?
I mean, I think that he's held things together.
You're giving me general wishy-washy, held things together. Does he actually go down to the New York Stock Exchange and like call out stocks? What does he actually do to help the economy?
I mean, possibly. I don't know, man. I don't think that he's done half the things that, he's not all powerful, right? So it's not like he just makes these decisions and then everything else falls into place because of him or not because of him.
Wait, you're arguing against yourself now. You started this argument. Your first position was that Trump has done good things for the economy. Now you're arguing against yourself saying, well, hold on. Trump can't do everything for the economy. He's not an all-powerful person. Well, which one is it?
It's a mix of both, right? So there are definitely things that he's done that have affected the economy.
Okay, like what?
Like the tariffs, why
are you going back to the tariffs? Nobody agrees that these are helpful. Harley Davidson says that they have to export manufacturing to other countries because of this. Ford is only going to make 2 cars from now on, Mustangs and the Focus, the Focus Active or whatever. Where are all these people? Some companies have gone out of business because of some of the tariffs that we've done on steel. Like, where are these people that think that tariffs are helping the economy? Do you have anything besides tariffs?
Okay, so you're saying that they're not helping the economy.
Correct.
Okay, but the economy is doing well, so it would be doing better, you're saying, if it weren't for those?
Yes.
If it weren't for the tariffs?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you might be right.
That's what else besides that has Trump done for the economy?
I don't know, man.
Okay, so you're giving me okay, it's not a bad thing, but you're arguing from your feelings. Do you acknowledge that at least? Like, you feel like he's doing well with the economy, but you can't point to a single policy position or empirical fact that demonstrates how that's possible.
So when you say feeling, though, it's not a feeling; it's a fact that the economy is doing well, right?
But we're not arguing about whether
it could be doing better. That's
incorrect. We're not arguing about whether or not the economy is doing well. The argument is whether or not Trump has contributed to the economy doing well. And right now, all we've established so far is that he's done tariffs, which I could show you. Economists generally think are bad, or overwhelmingly think are bad.
You're making the argument that he hasn't contributed to the economy doing well?
No, I don't think so at all. That is my argument. Yeah, I don't think he's done anything. Fuck all to help the economy do well.
Okay, so you feel that Hillary would have done a better job?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, so I don't understand. I have a feeling that Trump is doing well and doing better than Hillary would have, and you have a feeling that Hillary would have done well and doing better than Trump is. So
sure, and I would point to policy positions, and I would argue things like expanding access to education gives us a more educated worker.
Give me like 3 or 4 days. I'll go ahead and pull up all the stats and
okay, no. I understand 3 or 4 days, but
right, so that's what I'm saying.
I just want to hear from you that you're telling me that you've argued from feelings. You're giving me your feelings right now because you don't have any of this information. You just have a feeling.
No, I have facts to back up that I think.
No, you don't. I'm asking for them now, and you're not giving me any. All you've given me is stimulus spending, which is a Democrat position, which you would call Keynesian economics if Obama did it. And then you've said tariffs, which no economist agrees helps the economy. So you're giving me a feeling-based argument right now that I can't possibly argue against.
We just looked at the graph of the stock market, right? And we said that it's all-time highs, right?
That it's been posting since 2013.
Since like 2016, right?
Because no, that's not how all-time highs work.
It took a dip, did it not?
It doesn't matter if you take a dip.
It was an all-time high, and then it dips. That's no longer an all-time high.
If I go back to 1998, in 1998, that was an all-time high. It doesn't matter that it dipped in 2000 after the dot-com bubble. And then if I go and I look at like 2007, those were all-time highs. It doesn't matter that it dipped because of the housing crisis. Those are still all-time highs. For instance, if we're posting all-time highs now, what about when the economy dipped horribly at the beginning of last year?
I understand how graphs work. I'm saying that during that time, it took a dip, so it was no longer at an all-time high after that point of time.
Okay, well then, how do you feel about this year when we've essentially just moved sideways for almost the entire year?
If it's no longer at the highest point, then it's not an all-time high. I don't know what you're asking me.
No, but at the point that it was, like the stock market dropped almost 10% at the beginning of this year. Was that Trump's fault?
Not fully. I mean, it's partly yes, not completely, just like anything else, man. It's
why? Where are you getting these opinions from? You're just giving me your feelings. It is. You're giving me feelings because you can't point to any policy position. You can't point to any possible thing that Trump has done. You're just telling me your feelings. You feel like this has happened. Notice how we can't engage on a discussion because you're just telling me how you feel about it?
Armstrong.
So you asked me if I think that Trump is fully responsible for the way the economy acts.
No, I'm asking you what impacts he's had on it. So, for instance, an intelligent person might respond, well, Trump enacted X, Y, and Z policy, or Trump engaged with X, Y, and Z company and encouraged them to do this thing.
That's what I'm saying. If you want me to, I'll take a few days. We can come back, and I'll give you like a list of reasons.
But that's not what I'm arguing. That's not what I'm saying. You're trying to post hoc justify things that you believe are true now. If you were telling me right now, I'm not sure, I'll get the data, then I could accept that. But what you're saying is, I believe this thing right now, and then you're going to go find the data to post hoc rationalize what you've already concluded. You're arguing from feelings right now. You don't have the facts to back you up.
So from what I've heard, there's things that I've heard people say, and I mean I haven't looked up any studies or anything like that or fully researched it, but from what I've heard, there's facts to back up what I'm saying. So I mean, I've heard it from pretty reputable people. I mean, there's people out there that
what's one place you get your news from? I'm not trying to press you, but I'm really curious where you hear like these reputable people.
I mean, honestly, I listen to all sorts of like news outlets like NPR.
You think people on NPR are saying that Trump has done things that are benefiting the economy?
No, not at all. But sometimes they'll have people on there that'll disagree with them. But you're asking me where I get my news from.
I'm just curious, like where you've heard people say that like Trump tariffs are helping the economy. Like what reputable people?
In that specific context about the tariffs, probably not very many people. I mean, that's not a great example, I'll admit.
Sure. So what other things have you heard that Trump has done to help the economy?
That's what I'm saying is I don't have like a list in front of me of things. I mean, I'm not necessarily.
I'm not asking for a list in front of you.
I didn't know we were going to be talking about the economy, So it's
okay. Well, what else did you want to talk about? What did you think we were going to be talking about? I mean, you're the one that brought up the economy when I asked what you liked about Trump. This was your topic. So what other topic would you like to explore?
Sure. I mean, I think I think a lot of the social changes he's pushing for are pretty cool. I think that
what social
he's done a lot
changes
for minorities, and I think that
wait, okay. So you're making statements that are void of any substance. Like a lot of the social, like what? Like name a social change that he's pushed.
I just think that the whole I don't know, man. There's so much.
There's not so much. There's nothing. That's why you're drawing a blank. These are feelings. You're giving me feelings arguments. Every conservative does this. This is my problem. Did you like it when Trump said that trans people shouldn't be allowed to serve in the military? And even his own military generals like stepped back on all that because this is already an issue that's been researched for? Was that something you liked? Did you like it when Trump threatens to sue the media or silence the media or bar the media from entering or recording things during press conferences? Were these things that you like? Do you like it when Trump lies to the media, when he tells blatant lies like 3 million illegals voted or had the biggest electoral college win ever? Do you like, which social things do you like? I'm very curious.
So I think that the whole transgender thing in the military is interesting. I think that, I'm pretty sure what he said was he wants to defer to the actual generals and stuff like that, and he doesn't want to make the decision.
Sure, we've already done this though. That was the problem. Right, that's why nothing came of this.
But I don't think he specifically said we shouldn't allow transgender people in the military. Am I wrong about that? I don't think I've ever heard him quote saying we should not have transgender people in the military. Is that true?
Let me find the exact tweets.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure he literally tweeted that, but
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he never said that. I'm pretty sure he said we should defer to the military generals on that. Which, he has a point. I think that we should defer.
He doesn't have a point
generals.
because it's already been investigated by the military.
Okay. And what did the military say?
Well, they overturned what the Trump... Firstly, they'd already made decisions on this prior to Trump saying anything about it. And then secondly, a year after Trump made these dumb tweets, they ruled against him. And basically, this all went away.
Ruled against him how? What do you mean ruled against him? He didn't enact any legislation. He just tweeted his opinion on it.
No,
right?
He didn't just tweet an opinion. Okay, so July 18, 2018, court rules against Trump administration on transgender military ban. An appeals court on Wednesday ruled against the Trump administration and upheld a court order stalling a ban on transgender individuals serving in the military. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit upheld a block on the implementation of the ban, which was first announced by President Trump last year. The court's move enables transgender people to continue enlisting in the military until the opposing parties go to trial, expected in April of 2019. The administration had filed a motion to stay the preliminary injunction granted by the lower court in December 2017. So Trump was trying to ban all transgender people from the military. Hold on. Let me find the... Fuck, I fucking hate Twitter. How do I find, the parent tweet to this, guys? Oh, okay. So Trump says, after consultation with my generals and military experts, please be advised that the United States government will not accept or allow transgender individuals to serve in any capacity in the U.S. military. Our military must be focused on decisive and overwhelming victory and cannot be burdened with the tremendous medical costs and disruption that transgender in the military would entail. Thank you. This was his tweet.
Okay. So who are those people that he consulted with?
No one fucking knows. No one ever knows who Trump is consulting with when he makes vacuous fucking stupid tweets like this.
I mean... I don't know how to defend that exactly. I mean, if he's saying that he talked to the generals, all I can really I'm curious who he talked to.
Nobody. No one knows because Trump always lies about this shit. He probably saw something on fucking Fox News and did it. There were no generals that you laugh, but no generals corroborated with any of this.
Because it's what you're saying is just. I mean, do you really think that? Do you really think he just sits at home?
Yep,
and, watches
that's
Fox
what he's
News
done time and time again. Yeah. How many times? What about when he announced the travel ban and the Department of Homeland Security was scrambling, figuring out how the fuck to put it together? He does this shit all the fucking time. How do you not see this? Do you remember when the DHS was scrambling, figuring out how they were going to implement this travel ban? They had no idea how to deal with visas, no idea how to deal with green cards, no idea how to deal with it. They had to turn back fucking flights in the air and shit because no one had any fucking idea that this was coming down. Or the reports from the Pentagon coming out when Trump would make one tweet and people are literally on the edge of their fucking seat having no idea if he's about to announce that we're either going to do some dumb shit about gays getting cakes or if we're about to go to fucking nuclear war with North Korea. He does this shit all the time. Yes.
But how do you think that has anything to do with him sitting at home watching Fox News, though?
Because there are tons of people that will show that anything that Trump tweets the next day can be directly corroborated with what was shown on Fox and Friends and shit the night before. It happens all the time. I could Google articles.
I mean, that's proof enough for you that you truly believe that he sits at home and watches Fox News and that's how he decides what to do?
There are tons of different evidences that have come in from in the White House. There have been unofficial leaks. There have been official leaks. There have been multiple books written by people that have investigated Watergate in the past that have all corroborated this idea that Trump is obsessed with watching different types of Fox News programs. He called into Fox and Friends one of the mornings in order to have a conversation with them about how his administration is doing. And there have been multiple articles written that when Trump tweets about really weird shit at 5, 6, 7 a.m., all of it can usually trace back to the Fox and Friends news shit that was on the night before, shit that was on Fox the night before. So yeah, I do believe that. Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable to believe inductively.
Okay. I completely disagree. I don't think that our president sits at home every night and watches Fox News.
What would it take to convince you otherwise?
A camera in his house? I mean, I don't know.
Okay, listen to yourself. Who's the conspiracy theory here? I think that I am on a legitimate line of inductive reasoning here, that I can inductively reason that Trump probably watches Fox the night before and probably tweets about things that he's seen. You're telling me that you need a camera in his house to reason this out?
No. Yeah, he has probably watched, he's 100% watched Fox News before, right? He's 100% called in. That's probably true. He's probably tweeted some stuff after watching one of the episodes, right? Sure. But do you think that that's how he decides what he's going to do and how he's going to form his legislation and tell his people what to do, what they're doing? Do you think that that's how he like comes together with his group and he's like, okay, guys, listen, I was watching Fox News last night and this is what we got to do? I mean, sure, he 100% watches it.
Sure.
There's
I mean, you can. I mean, I can link you a million articles on this. You can read this later. I know you won't, and I know that none of this is going to stick with you. But yeah, there have been tons of people that have written about this. It's not even like controversial to say this at this point. There are tons of examples where Trump will tweet some like totally fucking random shit, and people are like, where the fuck did this come from? And then people look at what was on Fox News the night before, and they're like, ah. It makes sense. Or what was on Fox News 15 minutes ago. Like, he regularly gets advice from people like Sean Hannity. Like, he regularly talks about, why do you think he fucking picks Giuliani as his fucking lawyer? This guy is a shit show. He only does it because he sees him on fucking Fox News. Otherwise, Giuliani has made blunder after blunder after blunder, publicly over and over again. Like, of course, it's all, like, in my world, if I say, hey, Trump probably watches Fox News and gets a lot of advice on this, all of this makes sense. I have no fucking idea how you rationalize all of this in your world. Why would Trump pick somebody like Giuliani or tweet all these random things that just perfectly line up with shit?
I mean, if you're asking me specifically, I don't know how exactly it happens, man. I mean, you could probably draw a lot of, weird lines like that too if you would look at, stuff that Hillary's written before, stuff that she said. You could probably go back and look at the other side and do the exact same thing. I mean, the news cycle follows a trend, right? So if like something's in the current news, it's not uncommon for a president to tweet about it or put in his 2 cents. But I think it's just a little bit reaching to go as far as to say he sits at home every night and watches Fox News and that's how he makes his decisions on policy. I think that's a little bit... I mean, I don't think you're giving him enough credit, which I
give him no credit because I genuinely think he's a fucking buffoon. I think that I know more about almost every single policy decision that Trump himself implements, and I don't even think I know that much. That's how little respect I have for this guy.
That's part of the problem. I think that maybe...
No, the problem is that if I try to have this conversation with any conservative, I waste so much fucking time reading this dumb shit. I don't know why I read any of it, because then I talk to somebody like you who doesn't know anything, and all I'm getting is your feelings on all of this, and your response is like, well, if you're going to convince me of this, I'm going to need a camera in the White House. You're like, what the how am I supposed to have a conversation with you? It's not possible.
I'm not saying that I should actually want a camera in the White House. What I'm trying to say to you is that okay, if you want to have like an actual factual debate about something, let's pick a specific topic. I'll go ahead and research it for a few days. I'll have a bunch of sources pulled up. I'll have both sides of the argument figured out, and then we can have an intelligent conversation about it. If we're just sitting here talking as two people, I don't have these facts in front of me. I know that you spend a lot of time doing that and compiling this data and stuff, and I think that you're way more prepared for this conversation than I am. But as a person who's just a regular everyday person and I don't have all these facts in front of me, I'm telling you, I identify a lot with the policies and stuff, or not the policies, but the Republican Party in general, and what they stand for. And when I go online and I see you bashing things, like generalized things like this is what all Republicans say, this is what, all Republicans would do, this is what all Republicans, it's divisive and it's not helpful at all. And you're not bringing people like me who would otherwise, be interested to hear what you have to say to the table. What you're doing is you're just dividing people, and you're making it hard for people like us to have reasonable conversations with other people. All you're doing is creating this toxic environment of tribalism where no one really wants to talk to each other because you're fucking stupid, you're Republican, you don't believe in climate change. Oh, it's just not helpful, man. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Is like, if you want to have specific policy debates, I'll compile some information. We'll have an actual discussion where we're both prepared and we can do that. But if you're just asking me as a person, like, why I mentioned you on Instagram in the first place, that's why, because what you're doing isn't helpful, and you're not really like, I mean, I understand if you're just trying to stir the pot and like, drop people to your tweets and stuff, like, that's completely understandable. There's a lot of people do that.
I don't know if you're either, there's three options here. Okay. Either one, you're incapable of understanding this, which I don't think is true. Two, you're just acting in bad faith and you're going out of your way to not understand it. Or three, there's like some like really malicious undertone here and you're just like fucking memeing. I'm not sure which it is, okay? So, so my issue is that you are very opinionated on some of these things, but you have no factual backing for any of them. This idea that you can go and find it means that you've already drawn... No, just hold on, let me just real quick.
Okay,
you've already drawn conclusions from not having data, which means your conclusions are rooted in your feelings. So for instance, if I walk up to a person and I go, hey, what's up? And like, hey, yo, what's up? And I'm like, what do you think about John? And the guy's like, John? That dude is he's the worst human ever. And I'm like, oh shit, why is that? And like, well, he's just done bad things. I'm like, damn, what kind of bad things has John done? And like, I mean, I don't know. He's just done bad things. Well, like what? And like, well, I don't know. I mean, I can go and find out for you. Like, I'm not here to have a debate about John's fucking character. Like, I'm just telling you that he's a bad person. If you want to have a debate about his character, I'll go find out what John has done and then report back. It's like, well, hold on. You started this conversation off saying that John was a bad person, a person of bad character. What do you mean you're telling me you have to go and research now things that he's done? You've already got the conclusion. The research should come before that. So when I have a conversation with you about Trump and you say things like, I voted for Trump because I like him more than Democrats because I think he's got good policies, or I think that Trump has done good things for the economy. These are opinions that you already have that you needed empirical data to arrive at unless you use feelings to get there. So when you tell me I have no empirical data for any of your positions and you need to go look it up now, all I hear is I used my feelings to arrive at every conclusion. I'm going to go and check now if my conclusions are actually correct.
Okay. I understand that that's what you're hearing, but I don't think that that's necessarily true. I definitely think there are other ways to arrive at conclusions.
Like
so
what?
What I usually do, I'll explain.
Okay.
Usually what I do when I hear a controversial thing, right? Like something comes up on the news or, I hear something on the radio or something like that, and it's a controversial subject. What I'll usually do is I'll go online and I'll look up different sides of the argument. So I'll go to a real liberal Democratic website and I'll say, okay, like what kind of stuff are these people saying about it? And then I'll go look at like a more, Republican conservative website and say, okay, what are these people thinking about it? And a lot of times, a lot of those websites and stuff will have links to like data and, studies and research papers and all this stuff. And sometimes I'll click on them, not all the times, but sometimes I'll just take whatever the author is saying at face value and I'll say, okay, they provided links to these things. Most likely they're true. So I'm sorry that I haven't saved all of those informations, all that information.
Okay, you keep trying to deflate my statement. No, you keep trying to deflate my statement. No, you're saying like, I'm sorry that I didn't save every single thing. I asked you for a single thing. You haven't given me a single positive thing, not even one positive thing about Donald Trump. A single thing. I'm not asking. You keep saying you asked me to save every single thing. You asked me to save every single thing. I'm not asking you for everything. I asked for one single thing, and you haven't given me one. Not a single thing. So so stop saying I'm telling you to give you every single thing about. No, just one thing.
I don't use facts.
That's why I don't have anything in front of me right now to talk to you.
Okay, so you don't understand then. I'm not asking you to not have it in front of you. What I'm asking is you have conclusions inside your mind. Okay?
Yes.
A conclusion typically exists when you combine some number of premises together in order to form a conclusion. So for instance, I think that gun will shoot me. Well, why is that? Well, premise 1, the gun is loaded. Premise 2, when you pull the trigger, it fires a bullet. Premise 3, the gun is aimed at me. Therefore, if somebody pulls the trigger on the gun and shoots me, it will cause me a great deal of pain. This is what conclusions are. You don't have a conclusion, and then when someone says, well, why do you think that? You go, oh, well, hold on, I'm going to go find the premises. No, you have to have them in line first. So if you have a specific conclusion regarding Trump or his positions or his policies or your opinion on him, it implies heavily to me that you have done some amount of research or you have some general idea of why you like him beforehand, and not vacuous statements like, well, I like him because he's a good guy and he does good things. Like, whoa, well, I like his position on the economy. I like his position on healthcare. I like his position on immigration. On any number, one of those things, just one statement that we can actually empirically analyze and take apart. But not a single one of those statements were made by you. Instead, it's just, I like him because I like him. That's it.
Okay, I don't think I said once that I like him because I like him, but I see what you're saying. Yeah, there's definitely room for me to, provide more actual evidence of why what I'm saying.
I'm not saying there's room for you to do it. I'm saying that you've already failed as a human being, and you've reinforced every single negative opinion that I have of Republicans and had coming into this conversation. I specifically Instagram messaged you, and I said, Strange, every time a Republican says what you said, immediately they prove themselves wrong in the next 30-minute conversation. I was incorrect in stating this because you proved it correct in less than 15 minutes, when you couldn't give me a single example of why you prefer Trump, or why you think his economic policies are good, or why you think he's done anything good in society. Every example you brought up was either absurd, you brought up tariffs, which no economist agrees with, his lead economic advisor resigned over it because that's how fucking stupid it was. American businesses have gone out of business or claim that they're having severe trouble because of it. And then 2, you brought up something about transgenders that he didn't actually even say. You thought that he never actually kicked them out of the military, and he's actually going to court to try to do it. So like, you've furthered my position in thinking that all Republicans are idiots having this conversation. You've actually moved me to a more extreme position when your goal was to bring me back from it. Do you realize this?
Sure. I mean, that obviously that wasn't my intention, but I mean, I mean, I don't know how else to tell you other than just like, I don't have the,
okay, I understand what you're saying, that you don't have the data in front of you. Okay. Here's my problem. Okay. What I feel. Okay. I hate my fucking country because of people like you. Okay. I actually fucking hate you. Okay. I really do. From the bottom of my fucking heart. I think that people like you are destroyed. Like, when I have to argue with commies and socialists that tell me shit like liberals get the bullet first, fucking liberalism is dead, it's because of people like you that I can't really disagree with them. Because when I look at how liberals act in society, when I say liberals, I mean people that believe in things like freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom of all that shit. I see people like you that have strong opinions about things with no factual backing whatsoever. So how am I supposed to function? It is absolutely true. Okay.
Factual backing whatsoever. So you're telling me that that all the research that I've done in my time on the topics that I think are important and the things that I hear about in the news all the time, you think that all of that research and stuff that just doesn't exist? You think that I just made that up? You think that I've gone to the websites and I've looked at articles from both sides of the argument and that I've just made this shit up and then I've just come to these conclusions just based off of how I feel?
Sure. So you're one of two things are happening right now. I don't know. There's one of two things. One of two ways I can answer. No. You're either lying to me or you're lying to yourself. Because you have not done research on any of these topics. You've listened to a demagogue and you've taken their opinion at face value. That's where you're getting your opinions from. You've listened to somebody else like Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity or Alex Jones, and now you're repeating me their opinions like you listened to a demagogue, and now you're repeating them like a good little puppet should. That's what you've done to me. You have no factual basis for any of the positions you have. You're just repeating me talking points from other talking heads that I could find at Fox News. That's all you've done for me. If you would have read a single article, you would have known that Trump tried to ban transgender people from the military. You would know that his positions on tariffs are overwhelmingly unpopular. You would have definitely known that every single Republican conservative, save for John McCain, repealed the individual mandate on the ACA, right? If you would have gone and read all these articles and compared all these things, fucking reading the top comment in a Reddit post would have given you this information. So you haven't even done that much. So no, I don't believe you when you say you've gone and you've done research on all these topics, save for maybe the very rare possibility that you have some sort of Alzheimer's or memory problem that causes you to forget all of the research you've done.
I mean, I just don't know how to. I mean, if you want to do like personal attacks and stuff, I understand where you're coming from. Like, I mean, I would be mad too, but I don't have anything in front of me to sit here and have a full-on discussion about this. If you want to,
why do you keep saying that? I never wanted a full-on discussion. I just wanted one point.
That's exactly what you're doing.
No, I wanted 1 point. I didn't want a full-on discussion. I wanted one thing. Why do you keep saying I wanted a full-on discussion? I'm not trying to debate to you the intricacies of fucking immigration and how it might impact certain types of economies in certain cities. I'm just asking for one policy point from Trump or something that you like. Like,
I mean, I like a lot of what he's done. If you want one specific policy, I think a lot of what he's done that's great is the stuff that he hasn't done. So like the stuff that he's prevented from happening just because of him being the president versus, someone more democratic like Hillary.
Sure, like what's one thing that Hillary would have done that would have been bad?
Well, I think she would have tried to push for more like open borders, and she probably would have tried to support a lot of like social, welfare programs.
Sure. So when you say push for open borders,
yeah,
what would lead you to think that?
From the speeches I've heard her give, where she says that I think we should have, more, basically open borders.
Do you think that Obama had open borders?
No, he was known as the deporter in chief, right? I'm pretty sure he had the most.
Okay, and you know that the net flow of Mexicans actually was negative for the first time, like in the history since 1964 or whatever, since that Hart-Celler Immigration Act, or 1965, right? So,
right.
Why would you think that Hillary would come in and reverse all of that?
Because I'm pretty sure she said that was a bad thing when she was giving her speech and they were asking her about it.
She said it was bad
during one of the debates. During one of the debates, I'm pretty sure she say that she wanted that to be reversed and she thought that was one of the negative things of Obama's presidency.
I don't remember this ever, but I mean, I only watched every single debate, so maybe I just slept through it.
Okay. I mean, I watched all of them as well, so I'm pretty sure she said that.
All right. Okay. Well, listen, it's been a fun conversation, buddy.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Stay safe. Fuck! I'm gonna be a full-on fucking commie in like fucking 2 months. In fucking 2 months. This is why I don't do this shit anymore. I'm literally gonna be a full-on fucking commie. I can't fucking handle this shit. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Why do you have to say I hate you? Because because these people are horrible. These are the worst kinds of people. Like, this guy was everything that I hate in a Republican, and he came on to tell me why it was not fair. So he started commenting on my Instagram post, and he's like, "Destiny, it's sad that people actually think this way. You shouldn't waste your time arguing with them. The vast majority of Republicans aren't that ignorant." And then I responded, and I'm like, strange. Every Republican says this, then immediately proves themselves wrong in the next 30-minute conversation.
Shit, thank you for a 10 out of 10 meme.
And he said, same thing happens when I talk to Democrats. And I said, really? I'm streaming all day. Feel free to reach out and we could chat. Holy shit. The thing I like the most that he's done are the things that he hasn't done. Fuck me, dude. I fucking hate all this shit. What a waste of time. My new meme is to convince Republicans that at least they need to acknowledge that all their arguments are arguments of feelings.
Can we debate pineapple on
I think
pizza
the number one
is the best topping that exists?
No, fuck off. I think the number one thing that triggers me
that you don't put sweet and salty together have never had salted caramel.
Is when Republicans...
Poll has concluded that a majority of people like pineapple on pizza.
Nice.
It's inescapable.
I think that, fuck, I don't even know what I was just saying. Oh.
Both sides milady bonus meme. 2 months burn.
Nice. When Republicans say this dumb shit, facts versus feels, my facts don't care about your feelings. Republicans are the biggest feels-based debaters in the fucking world, dude. Like, holy shit.